Do you have a secret sister?
I believe I do have a sister out.
Child, no matter how hard Janet Jackson tries, all the talk and whispers about her having a child with James DeBarge still won't go away. There have been several stories from people close to them, as well as fans from the 80s, who are convinced they either saw or at least heard that she was pregnant and had a baby girl. It didn't help that everyone in the DeBarge family, including James himself, claimed there was a child, and that Janet was doing everything to keep them away.
So this is the DNA test, and it says the probability of relatedness is 96.7%. You didn't believe there'd be a match?
No way!
Now allegedly, James seems to have broken through to Janet because he might have finally gotten into contact with his long-lost daughter after years of looking crazy.
If it's true, you'll find out when she's ready for you to find out.
I'm sure he feels betrayed. I'm sure he feels sad. I'm sure he feels disappointed. I'm sure he feels like he was robbed of that relationship with his daughter. But at the same time, I know my dad loves Janet till this day. I know that her family had a huge influence on her. And, you know, if she was pregnant, the only thing that I can think of was that they felt that she still had a very long career ahead of her.
Girl, this isn't the first time that James DeBarge, his family, or fans who have followed Janet since the 80s have spoken about a secret daughter that Janet supposedly doesn't want the world to know about. At one point, Janet even had to address the rumors, saying that she isn't the type of person to keep a child from their father. It's wild that anyone would ever think otherwise.
They were saying that I had a child and I kept it secret. How could I keep a child from their father? I could never do that. That's not right. I don't know where that ridiculous idea came from.
Where was the baby? Nobody saw a baby. I mean, she was there with us all day, every day. Where was the baby? Where? Who? Where?
They were saying that I was raising her daughter. I couldn't believe it. First they were saying my niece Brandy was my daughter, and then I gave it to Jackie to raise.
But doesn't anyone else find it strange how Janet just shut down those rumors? She's never said, "I don't have a child with James." Full stop. Period. She's never outright denied that a child exists. Instead, she used all her years of PR training to skillfully skirt around the question. Now the real question is, if there really was a child, why would Janet feel the need to hide it? It all seems to come down to the chaos of Janet and James' relationship, Janet's toxic father, and the struggles James was facing around the time their child was allegedly born. When Janet and James met in 1982, she was already a rising star and the youngest member of the legendary Jackson family. She had made waves with roles on shows like Good Times and Different Strokes. James, on the other hand, was part of the DeBarge family band, a Motown act known for hits like Rhythm of the Night, All This Love, and I Like It. When their paths crossed in Hollywood circles, they instantly fell in love. According to several family insiders, Joe Jackson didn't see James as a suitable boyfriend. He viewed him as a problem. James was already battling drug addiction, and Joe feared the relationship could derail Janet's career and tarnish the Jackson family image. But in 1984, Janet defied her father and eloped with James. The DeBarge family adored them, and even an uncle officiated the wedding. However, when Joe found out, all hell broke loose. Allegedly, he threatened to cut Janet off completely if she didn't end the marriage. His anger was intense. Keep in mind, Janet was only 18, and James was 21. Joe wasn't just acting as a protective father. He was also her manager, obsessed with control, family image, and legacy. This would later play a role in why Janet distanced herself from him as she grew older. It was also around this time that Janet reportedly became pregnant. Some sources suggest she may have married, because she was already expecting. Either way, revealing that she was about to become a mother at 18 would have been catastrophic for the family's image. James' severe addiction made matters even more complicated. James confirmed that they were deeply in love, describing it as a case of right person, wrong time. He admitted that if they had been more mature, their relationship might have worked perfectly. In her 2022 documentary, Janet discussed how bleak and unromantic their marriage became as James' addiction worsened. She tried to be the supportive wife, often putting his needs above her own career. She would sometimes have to pick him up from strange places, finding him drunk or high. Pills found around the house would either be hidden or flushed down the toilet, leading to constant arguments between them. By March 1985, just 8 months after their wedding, Janet reportedly got an annulment. If they really did have a child, exposing the child to someone struggling with fame and addiction would have been far from ideal. Remember, the 1980s were a chaotic time for celebrity culture. Tabloids would do almost anything for a scandal, especially one involving the Jackson name. Joe Jackson, media savvy as he was, knew the impact news of a child could have on Janet's career, and likely tried to keep it under wraps. There are multiple articles from that time noting that Janet was seen less frequently in the media and public appearances. It's almost as if she was hiding. When she re-emerged, she was a divorced 18-year-old who had gained weight from stress and overwork. According to Janet, she was also on birth control. Her Fame co-star, Debbie Allen, confirmed that Janet was on set every day, working long hours with no signs of pregnancy.
Where was the baby? Nobody saw a baby. I mean, she was there with us all day, every day. Where was the baby?
James, for his part, never stopped believing that he had a daughter out there. No matter how Janet tried to dismiss the rumors, he insisted he wouldn't give up on meeting her. His family backed him up, too, firmly stating that Janet and James did have a child, and expressing confusion over why they weren't allowed to see or speak with her.
Ever see Janet where you thought she was pregnant?
Yes. When the marriage was annulled, that Janet was pregnant. And James believed that as well.
You believe that there's a child.
I think we all believe that James and Janet had a child.
But now that enough time has passed, it seems Janet has softened a bit and doesn't mind James and their daughter finally getting to know each other, so long as his family doesn't turn it into another public spectacle. Maybe that's why even James and his family have stopped discussing it openly. Still, word has gotten out, and people are feeling vindicated that there really was a child all along. It wasn't just a rumor. If a father struggles with addiction, it makes sense to protect a child from chaos and dysfunction. But now the child is grown, and if she wants to meet her dad, that's her choice. I distinctly remember Janet being a main character on Fame. When her pregnancy started showing, she was let go without any real explanation. Officially, they said she was gaining weight, but only around her belly. Regarding the annulment, it said her father forced her into it, though she definitely looked about 6 months pregnant before leaving the show. I even remember Right On magazine announcing that Janet and James were expecting, and then the story just disappeared. Shortly afterward, the song Control came out. So, what do you think about all this? Was there really a child? And has enough time passed for things to finally be okay? Sound off in the comments, hit that like button, and subscribe for more. I'll see you in the next video. Bye baddies.